Good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 1047. I think I didn't check, but I'm pretty sure. I've gotten good at remembering which episode number we're on. Used to be, oh shit, what number am I on? Sometimes I would look and I would see the number, and then I would go to type it in and I would forget. Speaking of forgetting, yesterday I spent a lot of time here in the office listing. I was listing. I did a lot of shipping too, though. However, eBay shipping was down for like 2 hours yesterday. So I spent about 2 hours more than I had anticipated here in the office. So I had, I noticed, how do you like to work with background noise? Now, I used to really be all over the place. I found myself, especially when I was shipping. When I was shipping, there are certain shows that I listen to that I feel like I'm more productive in my shipping, and those are usually hobby shows. But it's got to be like a certain kind of show, and I've noticed it's got to be like recorded. It can't be live because I want to go in and type my opinions. So if there's nothing new that I want to tune into, I'm all over the place. True crime podcasts, old wrestling, Christmas movies, the various things. I found what I'm productive here listing with the TV on is CNBC of all things. I like watching Jim Cramer after I go live here, 8 o'clock, Cramer, and I always forget the Carl and David Faber. So I like listening. They're enjoyable. They make finance fun, right? They make listening to business reports fun. So I like having that on the back. So I'm just like what do I want to watch in the background or listen to in the background? And so I just had CNBC on like all day. There's a report about wasabi. Now, I love sushi. We haven't had sushi in a while. And I am a big wasabi and ginger fan. I will put, and it depends on which rolls we get. Usually like the Philadelphia, California, those types of rolls. I'll put a little bit of wasabi and then a little bit of ginger. Chef's kiss. Very good. So, and the good thing is my wife hates wasabi and hates ginger. So I get it all. So I'm listing. And there's a new study out, and I found this. I heard it first on CNBC. Here's a CBS News. Wasabi, a study conducted in Japan suggests there's more to sushi than just a healthy dose of fish and seaweed. Researchers at Tohoku University, which I've heard of Tohoku, listing my Topps Chrome NPB cards. Researchers at Tohoku University found that wasabi, that spicy green condiment, traditionally dabbed on the raw fish dish, improves both short and long-term memory. How about that? Ru Nucci, the study's lead researcher and an associate professor at the school's Institute of Development, Aging and Cancer, told CBS News the results, while based on a limited sample of subjects without pre-existing health conditions, exceeded their expectations. He said, we knew from earlier animal studies that wasabi conferred health benefits. But what really surprised us was the dramatic change. The improvement was really substantial. So that's wasabi. It boosts your memory. The main active component of Japanese wasabi is a biochemical called 6-MSITC, a known antioxidant and anti-inflammatory known to exist in only trace amounts elsewhere throughout the plant kingdom. So it was a double-blind randomized study that involved 72 healthy subjects. So it was a pretty small sample size. And they were aged 60 to 80. Half of them took 100 milligrams of wasabi extract at bedtime, with the rest receiving a placebo. After 3 months, the treated group registered significant boosts in 2 aspects of cognition, working short-term memory and the longer-lasting episodic memory based on standardized assessments for language skills, concentration, and ability to carry out simple tasks. No improvement was seen in other areas of cognition, such as inhibitory control, which is the ability to stay focused, executive function, or processing speed. But memory, get some wasabi, help your memory. So I'm happy because I like wasabi. I told my wife that last night. I'm like, hey, guess what I heard on CNBC today? She said, what? I said, there's a new study out that wasabi boosts your memory. And you know what she said to me? You know what my wife said to me? You don't eat enough. I don't eat enough wasabi because my memory, like Dan, says it's nonsense. He loves wasabi and can't remember shit. Me neither. I do have photographic memory when it comes to certain things. Now, taking out the trash, remembering to take my laundry, because and so this is like I did laundry yesterday. So she's like, and I'm like, no, I'm like, I have great episodes. Like I can remember stupid shit. Like I can remember like photographic memory of like a random event when I was 7 years old. Am I going to remember to clean the dishes, take out the trash, feed the dog? I'm getting better at that. She's like, how long is your laundry going to stay up here? And I'm like, oh, what the? Come on. She's like, 2 weeks. And I'm like, no, I'm going to take it down. Come on. So she got that dig in. So it's like I think it was like mind control. She dropped that nugget so I would take my laundry down. And I did, except for the stuff that was hanging because it was still damp. Don't want to take that down yet. So, wasabi. Who would have thought? Guess what I didn't have for dinner last night? Anything. I just wasn't hungry yesterday. I had leftover salmon. We do salmon Sundays. So I had leftover salmon. And usually I like snack during the day. And usually by dinner time, like, what's today? Today, Tuesday? Monday night. Wait, no. Salmon Sunday, Monday. Yeah. Last night was Monday night. Jesus. I haven't had any wasabi lately. Sunday night, I'm starving. Last night, I'm like, go upstairs. And my wife had like appointments all day, which is crazy. Like, she's like, I don't know why I'm this busy. Like, this is not, and she doesn't want to be this. Well, I mean, she does. She doesn't. Like December 5th, like this is not your typical. So, hey, people are buying and selling houses. Economy going to crap my ass. At least not here with the housing market. So she's like just absolutely swamped with home sales, listings, buyers. So I came upstairs and I'm like, I'm not hungry. She's like, I'm not either. And she's like, do you feel okay? And I'm like, I think so. I think so. I did have popcorn and some licorice. That's what I had for dinner. Popcorn and licorice. It's like I'm 12 years old again. Today, I hope you watched yesterday's video, man. Whenever I talk eBay, everybody comes out of the woodwork. I should just, if I want, one of my goals for 2023 was getting to 5,000 YouTube subscribers. And I like 2 months in, I'm like, I don't care. Because I don't want to create videos. It's a pain in the ass. It takes time. You got to be creative. You got to eat wasabi every day so you can remember things. So I just kind of gave up to it. But I'm closing in on 3,500, I think, subscribers, which is pretty good for not trying. But when I talk about eBay, holy moly, everybody comes out of the woodwork. I think I have like 600 views already on yesterday's video talking about my 99-cent strategy. I want to talk about that. I'll give you an update. We're less than 24 hours into my 99-cent strategy, and I'll tell you how it's going. And if it's in 24 hours, has it met my expectations? So I hope you watched that video. I also want to talk about the topic today. When is the right time to sell? I get this question comes up a lot. It was also something similar was posted as a question in the Hobby Evolution Facebook group. By the way, if you're not a member, jump on over to Facebook, type in Hobby Evolution in the search bar, and join the group. I'll approve you, or our friend John Keating will approve you. Here's the link to my eBay store, 99centcards.com. Get that up there. So that's what we're going to talk about today. When is the right time to sell? And like anything else in this hobby, in this industry, whatever it is to you, there is no clear-cut answer. There is no right time to sell. Well, we know when the right time to sell is, but it's usually too late. Should I sell this? Should I sell that? It depends. It all depends. It's mainly just a big old gray area. So I'm going to share my thoughts on when is the right time to sell. And it's usually now. Yesterday was the right time to sell. Victor's in the house. Happy Tuesday. Hey, by the way, if you have a Wednesday trash day, make sure to get that out to the curb tonight. This is going to be tricky for me, though, because tonight is my wife's favorite things party. So there's going to be a lot of people over, so I probably won't be able to get the trash can to the curb tonight because there'll be cars at the curb. So I'll have to remember, I'll have to go out for sushi tonight so I can have some wasabi so I can remember in the morning to take the trash out to the curb. Dalton's in the house. What's up? Happy Tuesday. Shane is here. Good morning to you. Value Box Digger, what's up? How many cards have you sold in the first 4 days of the December challenge? I see a lot of people moving to lots. You may be the last man standing by this time next year. That's the plan. That's the plan. That's always been the plan. When everybody a lot of people jumped in to follow the single card, high volume, and I knew most of them won't last. We did the video, very popular video several months ago. 80% of local card shops are going to be closed in 2 years. That's what somebody high up in the know relayed to me. People, oh, no. But we're seeing card shops dropping like flies. We're going to see eBay volume card sellers drop like flies. And eventually it's like there's been down times. Like certainly it's decreased for me as there's more inventory. There's more competition out there to be expected. Now there's going to be less competition. There may be less demand for some of the stuff, but you gotta outlast. And I'm still doing enough to keep me afloat. So how many cards have I sold in the first 4 days of the December challenge? So December has been, I'm trying to think. So we're 4 days in. The first 2 days of December were slow. The last 2 days have been at or above my expectations. So I have sold 318 in the first 4 days of December, which is low, which is not good. So that's less than 100 per day. I want to be 125 to 150 per day. So I need to start slamming some more cards in the eBay store. Get caught up. David, good morning. What's happening? Bill's in the house. Good morning. Harlan is here. What's happening? Steel Cards in the house. What's going on? Hey, by the way, Steel Cards, I need to reach out to you because I made a boo-boo on your order. So I need to reach out to you. I think it's you that I made a boo-boo. Dan's in the house. What's going on, Dan? Donald Davis is here. Good morning to you. Value Box Digger says eBay shipping down sounds like a reason to not carry same day or 1 day business. That's a really good point. So shipping was down for at least 2 hours yesterday. And it worked intermittently. So I would go in and I was humming along yesterday morning, and then all of a sudden at like 10:30 or 11 o'clock, it just stopped. So you refresh, nothing. Refresh, nothing. Oh, maybe it's my computer. Maybe it's my cookies on my computer. Log out, log back in, still not working. Okay, I'm going to go list. Okay, I list a couple batches. I'm going to go back in, try it again. Still not working. Refresh. Oh, I got one label to print. Go back in. Oh, not working. Like, okay, I am not going to commit to shipping until this is 100% working. Value Box Digger brings up a good point. These are the instances where you have a 1 day, especially on a Monday. Who's shipping on Monday trying to get their 1 day handling met, and you're down 2 to 3 hours because of eBay? Not good. That's not the main. I mean, that how often does eBay shipping go down? But it happened. It happened yesterday, and it's actually happened quite a few times. But it's still not. I'm not going to not do a 1 day handling because of random shipping instances like this. But it's also part of the equation. There's not just one. There's never one key instance. For me, it's, this weekend. I ship every day. I have to ship every day. I have to get the labels pick, pack, ship every single day. So when I'm out of town for a weekend, like that's valuable shipping time. So when I come back on, Monday to ship and I have 400 things to ship, I don't want to do that in one single day. I don't want to be up against the gun. So that's the main reason why I don't do 1 day shipping. And then instances like yesterday is just kind of like an additional reason not to do shipping. Now, if you're doing less volume, I got a sneeze coming. If you're doing less volume, there's no reason to do my method. I could have done 1 day, if I'm doing 20 a day, 50 a day, that's easy. But once you get over 100 a day, is it manageable? Absolutely. But then there's going to be times where you're out of town. And I keep my store open when when I go to Cubs convention in January. So I'll be away from home for 3 full days. One of those being a business day. So I keep it open, and I'm just going to hammer out, the shipping when I get home Sunday night and then all day Monday. So those are the reasons why I don't like 1 day handling. Kyle, good morning. Hobby Evolution is my background noise most mornings. Yes. Hit that like button for Kyle. Do it for Kyle. Don't do it for me. Do it for Kyle, who listens every morning, most mornings, as his background noise. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. Brian says, good morning. I like to listen to ABBA when needing to grind things out. It's weird, but it works. Okay, I thought that was a joke. Maybe it's not a joke. Maybe Brian does listen to ABBA. Dancing Queen. That's the only ABBA song I know. I think there's one other big hit, right? What are ABBA's big hits? Who would have thought you'd be ABBA greatest hits? Do they have enough hits? I think they have enough hits. They were big in Sweden, right? I don't know any of these. Brian, you'll have to help me out. I don't know. I know Dancing Queen. That's it. Low Roller says, I sold a CJ Beathard card yesterday. Did not know that. Thank you for the update. Good morning, Mark. Mets cornering the nondescript market. Kind of a quiet day at the winter meetings. The only thing I really heard about was, I think Ken Rosenthal reported, and I don't believe Ohtani reports. I don't believe anything that is said about Ohtani. There was a report that the Blue Jays met with Ohtani at their headquarters in Florida. So take that for what it's worth. That was about it. There was nothing. I'm refreshing Twitter. Where's all the hot stove stuff? Nothing. And I'm bummed. This is about, actually pretty much all baseball season. I'm bummed. YouTube TV doesn't carry MLB Network anymore. That's the main, we're going to switch to YouTube TV. Number one, it's got to have MLB Network. Now there's other channels that, ESPN, regular stuff, that Big Ten Network. So, but I'd like to watch MLB Network, and I can't. This is the time of year I'd have ML instead of watching CNBC and learning about Wasabi boosting my memory yesterday. I could have learned nothing of what's coming out at the winter meetings, but I'd have baseball on in the background. So I guess, hey, it's a good thing. I learned about Wasabi yesterday. Victor says, I listen to YouTube card content and watch news from 5 a.m. to 4 p.m. How about that? Ken says, college football free agency has begun, blah. So I was thinking yesterday, I was watching SportsCenter last night. There's a quarterback, DJ Uiagalelei. I don't know how to pronounce his name correctly. Uiagalelei. We'll call him Uiagalelei. DJ. In fact, one of the SportsCenter anchors called him DJ U. And I'm like, oh, you can't pronounce his name either. And then the other guy's like, oh, watch this. And he's like, DJ Uiagalelei. I'm like, wow, he knows how to pronounce it. Anyway, DJ started his career at Clemson. So he's got like a 2021 Bowman U Clemson card. Well, it's not in the logos. And then the next year, he was at, where was he at this year? Oregon State. He's back in the transfer portal. Like, what? Like, I can't wait until a quarterback goes to like 4 different schools. Like, oh, we're going to start at Clemson, go to Oregon State, and then we're going to move on to Ohio State, and then we're going to finish at Florida. Like, what? I still think, and Ken is already, I can see the steam coming out of his ears. I still think it's good for the college athlete. Is it good for us as fans? No, it's terrible for us. But it's not our lives. So who are we to judge? But I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, I saw like all the trade, like, this is ridiculous. But hey, if coaches can do it, why can't the athletes do it? Ken says, how come I'm the only one that's giving a thumbs up? Well, damn it, let's hit that like button. I'm going to hit that like button. Do it with me. We're going to pause. Some people, it's just a shtick, I know, the like button. People, why? Why are you so focused on the like button? I don't know. Because everybody says, smash that like button. And so I'm like, I guess it's important. I'm a sheep. I'm going to go in and I'm going to smash that like button. All right. I'm number 20. Boom. Smashed. I smashed that like button. I'm curious, like going back through the videos, I'm going to start looking at like the likes. There's a whole bunch of likes. Was that good content? Or did just people like get bored and like, I want him to shut up about if there's enough people hitting the like button, will he finally shut up about hitting the like button? Some podcasts or YouTube videos that I watch, they're like, they're almost like, it's almost like dirty. It's like dirty talk about hitting the like button. They don't want to say hit the like button. We're just going to get this out of the way. Hit the like button right now. And we're going to get this out of the way. Like, what? Like, why can't you just like be like randomly talking about like true crime, randomly talking about a serial killer, blah, 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 blah. Hey, by the way, hit that like button. Dan says that's nonsense. I love Wasabi and I can't remember shit. Ken says I love other things that cause me to remember shit. I agree with Dan, says Shane. Card Hobbyist says the question becomes if that chemical is in the American wasabi, which is most likely to be fake. Oh, that's a good point. Everything in America is just fucking chemically induced and it's not real. Our food sucks. Our food is terrible. Donald says, but it tastes good because they load it with all those tasty chemicals. Donald says, thanks for the 99-cent deal. And with 25% off 7 or more cards. I purchased 7 more cards from your eBay store last night. Boom. See? That's how it works. Did I want to sell Donald a single 99-cent card? No. What I wanted Donald to do was come into my store for the 99-cent deal and see, oh, I can save an additional 25% off this already super low price of 99 cents. Holy shit, he's getting 75-cent cards out of my eBay store. That's the goal. Well, how much money are you making on 99-cent free shipping? That's what everybody said. Well, how much are you making on that? $1.50. You're not making anything on $1.50. How many times do I have to say? It's not about a single transaction. Donald Davis, cheers. Let's take a drink for Donald Davis. That's, my friends, that's the goal of these 99-cent strategic listings. Hey, I had a dream last night. Dan says I'd forget my head if it weren't attached. I do remember the dream I had. I had a dream last night, and I think it was because I posted the updated. I had a lot of card show talk last night because I posted the schedule on the Madison Card Show Facebook page. So I do have to increase the prices. So any of my dealers that are listening, watching, effective January, so not in effect for the next show, which is December 30th, but effective for the January 27th Madison Card Show, I have updated pricing from the Sheraton on John Nolan Drive. They jacked up my price. So there's going to be a slight increase. If you get one table, your price doesn't change. No change in price. It's still $50 a table. There's no really what's taken away is the volume discounts because we're still selling out with waiting lists. So I'm basically taking away the volume discount. I do have some long-time 3-table vendors, so I'm keeping those prices, I'm slightly rising those prices to $130. So you'll see a slight increase on those 3-table, and then 2 tables is just going to be $50 a pop, so $100. I am going to cap it at 3 tables. I've got a couple like the Ferry Brothers in the back room. They're a sponsor. I'm going to keep them at 4 tables. Greg gets like 4 tables downstairs. So those are going to be, they're grandfathered in, but anybody new or, I'm not going to allow anybody to, even if you've been a long-time dealer, I want to keep it 3-table max. Just so we can get all the vendors that want. Of course, this could change. If all of a sudden there's no demand, like, well, I need tables, but there's demand. So I haven't raised prices at all. This has been the prices. In fact, I dropped prices. When we started the Madison Card Show, Johnny and I, first few months, we didn't do volume. It was $50 a table. And if you wanted 3 tables, it was $150. And then we dropped it because we wanted to start filling more tables. Then we dropped it to 2 for $80 and I think 3 for $100 initially, and then I raised it up to 3 for $120. So you'll see a slight in. So it's you hardly notice it. Sell an extra card, you'll make that table money back. So anyway, I had a dream last night. So I posted that on Facebook last night, and I had a lot of people reach out like, hey, I'm in for December and I'm in for January and I'm cool with the price hike and all that stuff. So great. So I had a dream last night. I had a dream that my card show, and I don't know if it was like a first time card because it wasn't at the Sheraton Hotel on John Nolan Drive. I think it was at like my school. And I think I know why. Now I know why I had this dream in this location at my high school. Because my Anawan High School alumni Facebook page, but there was a bunch of posts. One of our alumni is going into the Illinois Basketball Coaches Association Hall of Fame, the IBCA Hall of Fame. So there was a post about her accomplishments, and then there was pictures, and so there was pictures of like the high school and all that. So I think that's why my brain waves were confusing high school Facebook page, Madison Card Show Facebook page. So my dream was a card show at my high school, but it wasn't just I had oversold. So it wasn't like just in like say the gymnasium. I had tables in like the home ec room and the English room and the science lab. That's probably not a good place to have a card show, a science lab. No, that's not good. But all of these rooms. And I must not have advertised this fake card show because like I hadn't collected money and people are leaving early and I'm like going around and I didn't set up. It was a disaster. So it's like a premonition. Do not start a card show at Anawan High School. That was my premonition. There's no plans to, but that dream assured that I won't ever be doing a card show at the Anawan High School. Only disaster will loom. Moving on. Mark says, I remember stuff when I was 7. Sometimes I forget why I entered a room. Amen. Amen. I remember probably when I was 7 years old. This is a fun story. And my cousin Michelle, I probably remember this so vividly because my cousin Michelle, who was like a sister growing up, we constantly like laugh about this. She was 2 years older than me. She was like a big sister. She was basically like a big brother, like picking on me. So we grew up very close. And my dad was a very skilled builder of things. Like nothing specific, just random shit. He had like an engineer's mind. I can't do shit when it comes to tools. My dad could like just make shit. Like, how do you do that? I didn't get that gene. Anyway, he would build these bicycles. Not just any bicycle. He would build these like Frankenstein bicycles, 3-wheeled bicycles. So I'll try to find a picture. I'm trying to think if I don't know if they're probably at my mom's house, but the first one was this black, like grocery getter, and it was like a lowrider. So it had a regular bicycle wheel at the front, and then it had like steering wheel like here, and then you sat back. And then it had like a crate, like a milk crate on the back. So you could literally go get groceries. We lived like 2 blocks away from the IGA. It was like you rode and you pedaled like this. Can you see? So that's how you rode this bike. So that was the first one. My phone almost fell. That was the first bike that my dad made. That was pretty low key, not a dangerous bike. The red bike, that was the danger zone. Danger, 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 like Brian Gray says. Danger, danger. The red bike. It was like a fire truck. They're freaking cool. Did it have 4 wheels or was it a 2-wheeler? No, it was a 3-wheeler. It was a 3-wheeler. So the red bike was like, it was like a box, kind of. It was red. And you sat up on it, and it had like your steering wheel was like this. And so there were 2 wheels in the front, and then one, and they were all bicycle wheels, one in the back. And so it could be, if you're going really fast, it was kind of hard to control. So it also had not a like a rack, had like a rack. So I'm like 7 years old, 9 years old. So like it could withstand, like freaking Fat Bo couldn't, Fat Bo and somebody else, like 2 fat guys couldn't be riding on this bike. But 2 skinny kids weigh like 50 pounds each. One could ride on the rack, on the back. So I think my cousin Michelle was driving the bike and I was on the rack. And so where I lived in Anawan, we were kind of like down the street, like literally down the street. And you had to go up the street to get to like what we called uptown, because it was uptown from where I lived. So uptown. And then kind of like once you got uptown, and then it kind of went down again. So we were riding. So once we get to the IGA, the grocery store, I think it was like a Sunday afternoon. Grocery store wasn't open, so there's like nothing going on down uptown. So Michelle's like, "Oh, let's go fast," right? And right past the library and the IGA was the bank, but in between the bank and the library, so it went IGA. There was actually probably a Ben Franklin at the time, Ben Franklin craft store. IGA, library were all in this like same building, separate buildings, but same, right? And then there was a parking lot, and then the bank. And that encompassed one whole block. And so in between the library and the bank, the parking lot, the entrances to the parking lot were like curbed, right? So Michelle's like, "Let's go fast." And we hit, and then there's street parking, okay? We hit that like curb where you enter the parking lot and we lose control. So what happens, since there's two wheels in the front, there was like a bar to like connect. I don't know how the engineering works, but anyway, it like if it if it hits something like that, it'll like kind of bow in, and like the wheels, it's, I don't know. So anyway, that happened. We lose control and we hit a Buick. Like by the time we hit the Buick, we had like slowed down enough, and I don't think it did any damage. The problem was there was an old man in the Buick. So we're laughing. We're laughing because my cousin Michelle's the little devil. So we're laughing. Oh, that's so fun. Until we realized there was an old man in the Buick. The old man gets out of the Buick, and like, I'm a dumb kid. Like, I'm dumb. Like, I don't know what the hell to do. Like, my first thought is like, oh my God, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My cousin Michelle, being the little devil that she is, she knows how to play. She was also 2 years older. She had a little more life experience at 9. So she plays it off and starts crying. Remember, I'm 7 and dumb. Like, I'm a dumb kid and I'm 7. I got nothing going for me at this point in my life. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, are you okay? Oh my God, are you okay? I got to go down to this is like 1989. So like, I'm going to have to, the fucking payphone is the same distance to my house. I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm going to go call mom at the payphone when I can just fucking run home. It's 2 blocks away. See, I'm dumb. So Michelle's like, shut up. And I'm like, what the hell is she doing? And she's like bawling, crying. Little old man's like, oh, little girl, are you okay? Are you okay? It's okay. Don't worry about the car. Okay, that's what we wanted to not worry about, the car that we just hit. So all things, he's like, oh, there's no damage. It's all good. Are you okay? I can take you home. Like, oh, stranger danger. Like, oh, we're good. We're good. We get the freaking brace of the bike put back together, and we're off causing more trouble. I'm like, Michelle, what? Are you okay? We should go home. Are you okay? She's like, no, I didn't want us to get in trouble. And that's when it occurred to me. Sometimes it pays off to lie. So that's my story from when I was 7. I remember that vividly. 1989, little old man in a Buick. We hit it with the red bike. Michelle fake cries, and we get out of a jam. I can't remember what I had for dinner last night. Can't remember what episode we're on, but I can remember that. Taco Tuesday for Ken. Hopefully I get out of the house. I'm relying on Mark. He's probably not watching. Relying on Mark to get out of the house, but he's been out of the house for like the last 3 weeks. I don't know if he wants to get out of the house. I may just hide in the basement during the favorite things party tonight. Value Box Digger says, have you remembered to make your appointment for your infected tooth? I have remembered to avoid it. It hasn't been like, I haven't had the bump. I haven't had the bump since that dentist appointment. I think they're lying. I think my dentist is lying. Here's why. Here's why I think my dentist is lying about my tooth. I've had this like bump for like 3 years. And usually it like right now there's no bump. It only pops up at certain times. Usually it pops up when I have like acidic food. Like if I eat too many tomatoes, I'll get the bump in my like right here above my tooth in the gums. I talked to my doctor about it. And he's like, oh yeah, it's probably acidic and blah, 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 blah. And he like just poo-pooed it off. I told my dentist, the dental hygienist, and I'm like, I get this bump here. And I'm like, usually it only pops up when I eat acidic foods. And she's like, yeah, no big deal. Now, this is a new dental hygienist. And I think they try to get you to spend more money with them. I don't believe them. So here's the thing. I've had x-rays like twice because I get x-rays every year. And so I've had this bump here on occasion. I've had it for the last 2 go-rounds of x-rays. My third x-ray will be in the spring sometime. And it had popped up. I don't know, maybe I had a tomato for breakfast that day. It had popped up and the dental hygienist saw it. Like, she's concerned. And she's also concerned about my bloody gums. Like, I just freaking went to town flossing because I never floss. That backfired. I should have just not flossed. That backfired on me because now I got bloody gums and she's concerned. Well, we better take an x-ray, which is another freaking $80 or whatever they cost. Like, Jesus. I could have bought a nice Cubs card for this. So they take the x-ray and she's like, oh yeah, like, see this little dark area? I'm like, no. Oh, that little dark area that's on every fucking tooth in my mouth that's been there for the last 3 years. And then so this is a tell, according to me, in my own mind. Hey, if you are just joining us, I see we have over 70 viewers. If you're just joining us and you're thinking, when is the right time to sell, and you're listening to me talk about my mouth and my teeth, we'll get there. We'll get around to it. Don't worry. So Dr. Clark, love Dr. Clark. I hate his profession. I hate all dentists equally. I am an anti-dentite. So Dr. Clark comes in and he gave a tell. You know what Dr. Clark said? With no concern in his voice, he looked at the x-ray and he goes, well, we'll have to go with the x-ray. Like, what does that mean? What does that mean? We'll have to go with the x-ray. So, no, I am not scheduling an appointment for my not infected tooth. I haven't had the bump since that appointment. It has never hurt. Sometimes I'll get but I think it's sinus pain. And usually it's this time of year, like when it starts to get really dry, I'll get sinus pain. But I don't think it's anything to do with the bump. I don't know what it is. But I'm not getting a root canal yet. Zach and Porter in the house. What's going on? You also have a nice day. Value Box Digger says, give the Cliff Notes if you missed yesterday. Your plan is to list 99-cent cards, free shipping to drive traffic, and get multi-card orders. Is that correct? That is absolutely correct. That is the 99-cent strategy. Zach says, 24 hours into your 99-cent strategy, part due, not your first rodeo. So this is not about 99-cent strategy. Although, thank you, Donald Davis, for taking part in proving that it's a good strategy. Okay. Let's see. Low Roller says now he needs to start listing variations. No, we've talked about that. No variations. Variations suck. Don't do them. Philly Joe, good morning. Grinding for good. Happy Tuesday. Red Light 34 in the house. What's happening? eBay free listings, $250 per month. They will still be there for selling sports cards. 318 sales. Nice. What does your wife clear for income after taxes? Mark, good morning. Can you discuss negative reviews? Received a negative comment one day after eBay estimated package PWE date. Maybe we can talk about that tomorrow, because I have many thoughts on negative feedback in general. Red Light 34 was shopping my eBay store. Red Light 34, thank you, sir. Shane says, shipping was frustrating yesterday. I have next day shipping. I just clicked refresh a bunch of times and they eventually worked. And see, I did not want to do that because that's so much downtime. It's like I can just catch up. Like, I'm wasting so much time. But I also see I don't have next day shipping, so I didn't have to sit there refresh. So I'm like, screw it. Once it gets up, I'll go back in and I'll ship. Steel cards. Yes, it is. I was going to message you today. Yes. I had somebody reach out to me yesterday. They're like, hey, I got an extra card in my package. And I looked at it and I'm like, I remember selling that card. And then I looked up the buyer and it wasn't the person who received it. I'm like, oh shit. So yes, I will be getting that back and I'll send it out to you. So sorry about that. Value Box Digger says we will have to remember to ask Adam with the Dollar Box Wednesday night how his Monday shipping went. Oh, that's right. He does volume, no weekend shipping, and a one-day handle. He usually spends all day Monday shipping. So that certainly would have slowed down anybody that does a majority of shipping on Mondays. Flipping Sports Guy says, oh man, that had to be painful for him. I print my labels in bulk when I first get on the computer, so I got oh yeah, there you go. So there is a benefit to printing your bulk labels. So if you do it like me and do them single, and then all of a sudden you get to that point, you're effed. I have noticed though, when I stack, the larger my stack, look, it just happened with steel cards. I sent his card to somebody else because it was in a stack. And I because what happens in volume orders, I just like start pulling the cards and it's like, oh, and I screw up. If I would do bulk labels, I would make twice the amount of mistakes, which is not good. CJ Beathard is the new starting quarterback for the Jaguars. Brian says, gimme, lay all your love on me, money. Oh, these are ABBA songs. I actually skipped Dancing Queen, can't stand it. And lastly, Fernando. I'm not. I bet I would be familiar with at least one of those other songs. Let's see. Low Roller Scratcher. You should learn CNBC about Bitcoin. Why Bitcoin is going up again. Dairyland Picker in the house. Wasabi, a memory stimulator. BTC to the moon. Dan says, rumored that the New York Mets and Chicago White Sox are interested in Eric Fetty, this season's KBO Cy Young and MVP, former Washington Nationals prospect. I didn't realize Eric Fetty was over in Korea. Dalton says, I had someone buy 42 cards yesterday. It was a mashup of cards, new and old, baseball and football. Also love selling some of those old listings that have been on for 3 months. That's when I do the 50% off sale, I see more stale inventory move than I do like, sometimes people take advantage of like, oh, I'm going to get this card for really cheap and I'll buy 5 cards or 7 cards, whatever the sale is. But then I also move a ton of like stale inventory that I thought would never sell, like a stack of 84 Donruss commons. JT Daniels has already started for 4D1 programs at quarterback. Really? JT Daniels. I would assume the like amount on a video works the algorithm. It does, yeah. Kyle says, number 14, liking the smash button. I'm way behind, aren't I? Because I think when I smashed the like button, I was number 20. 756. Oh, shit, I'm like 25 minutes behind. Let's see. Low Roller 1, a whatnot giveaway. Jerome Baker autographed jersey with JSA. How much is the jersey autograph worth? I don't know. I don't know who Jerome Baker is. And I don't know autographed jerseys. Flawed Thinker, good morning. Brian, what's up? Good morning. Bo's opinion on American food are a bit too Strowman-ish for me. American food sucks. JG, little extra something in that coffee today. Must be. Good morning, Brian. What's happening? Redbridge, what's going on? Good morning. It is my therapy. You're my therapy. Sell extra cards. You will make up for those micro fees we are charging on phantom transactions. Would Bo have liked that response from eBay? Sorry, just feisty this morning. Sell extra cards. You will make up for those. Yeah, hey, a little dose of my own medicine, right? Just sell some more cards. Redbridge says, if you were to pick one type of box to buy and keep sealed for a few years, what would it be? Always looking for a strong rookie class. Oh, I am not the person to ask. I don't know, for baseball, and they're not on sale anymore. I mean, right now, there were some really good buys to be had in November with the blowout David Adams, Steel City with their Black Friday, Black November deals. You got to wade through some trash. And the thing is, it's kind of like, when is the right time to when is the right time to sell, but when's the right time to buy? And so when is the right time? It's usually when nobody else is doing it, right? There's a reason Blowout has their big Black November, and there's a reason they sell the stuff they sell, because it's not selling. So you mark the price down, and it's almost like a 99-cent strategy, but with increased prices. All of a sudden you move that crap, right? Some of that crap becomes really good. There's a lot of regrets that I've bought and ripped on Black Friday. 2011 Heritage Miners hobby boxes were like $60 one year. Now they're like 500. I had a case of them. I think I sold 6 of them sealed, made a decent profit, which we're going to go into. Hey, I won that because I made profit. Could I have made a lot more? Yes. But I made profit. 2018 Topps update case for $450, whatever it was that year. Now they at one point they were 5,000. So that's the type of box that I would buy low and just take a gamble, low risk, potentially high reward. I mean, you got to be smart on what you're buying. Don't go out and buy Yo Gabba Gabba or the Pete Rose Leaf boxes. But that would be I don't do sealed, so that's just my thought from what I do buy sealed. Topps Chrome and PB would have been great. It's not a great deal anymore, but it's probably still, I think there's still room to go up. I don't know what the new prices are, the updated, the retail prices. But here's the thing that you don't regularly see with Black Friday sales. The Chrome and PB, I think they were whatever was on sale for 60, people were selling for 100 like the next week. Usually you don't see that with what blowout sells. Usually you're going to get it at market price during Black Friday with the hopes of it rising once baseball season starts. Porter's in the house. What's going on, Porter? Value Box Digger. LOL at Zach. I thought the same. Sell a couple extra cards for a quarter box dealer. That's more than a couple cards. For Bo's show, I can see table fees being worth it to dealers because he drives the traffic to shop. Some shows, not so much. Here, pay $60 for a table and there's 4 shows. Yeah, I think it's, I had a first-time dealer last month, walked in for the first time. He actually stayed the night on Friday night. He walked in. He's like, how many? I'm like, well, with the additional table, 135 this month. And he's like, how much? How much is a table? I'm like, 50. And he goes, really? He goes, I'd give you 100 for a table. No questions asked. He's like, I figured it'd be like 300 or 400. I'm like, oh God, no. God, no. I wouldn't fill $135 or 135 tables at 400 a table. But thank you. But thank you for that. So, and he was happy with his results at the show last month, and he'll be back again. Max wants to know, what sport is Redbridge looking for? Stuke's in the house. Good morning. Brian says, how many listings is the minimum for having a store subscription in your opinion? Whatever the math works out to. What are you going to pay? What's the I don't know how many listings you get in the base, but from not having a store to having a store, it's pretty minimal, because what's your cap on not having a store? 250? What are you paying not having a store for more than 250 listings? And can you get to the important thing is not only getting to that point, but first you have to get, so say you don't have a store, you want to have 250, or you don't have a store, you're getting 250 listings. I don't know if that's the number we're going to use for this example. So if you only have 100 listings and you can only list like 5 listings a day, don't go out and buy a store or subscribe to a store. Get up to 250 on a consistent basis. Then do the math. Okay, how much am I going to spend? Say you're going to go to the first store, which is like $25 a month or $30 a month, whatever the price is. You're not paying for a store, so you have an additional $25 cost. How many listings do you have to pay for out of pocket without having a store to meet $25? Say it's 25 cents per, what is that, 100? Like 350 listings, which isn't that, if you're able to list fast, not much. So first get to your cap, then do the math, and it's probably not going to be much, and you get benefits. If you go to that $25 store, I would skip that $5 store, just skip that. Go to the $25 basic store, I think it's called, and you get like a $25, you get free bubble, well, you get $25 for bubble mailers each quarter, or whatever you want to use it on, boxes, tape, whatever. So I would just do the math. What are you paying per listing after you're free, and then run the math on that. Red Bridge to Max. I like football, basketball, and UFC. UFC more PC, open to any sport, looking for resale value down the road. I'm not too into baseball. Here's my thought on sealed wax. Don't buy something you don't like. If you're speculating, if you don't like baseball, don't buy baseball. Because there's a chance you buy some sealed wax hoping it goes up, and 5 years down the road, it's worth the same or less than it was when you bought it. And then you're like, well, I've had this, I'm just going to rip. And if you don't want to rip baseball and you fall into that 5 years later, you're going to hate rip baseball. And you're like, you're going to hate yourself even more. That's what I was doing when I was buying retail. I was just stocking up on retail last year. Yeah, last year. So going into the Christmas party, the Couch People Christmas party, which, by the way, is Saturday, December 16th, 7 p.m. Central. When I was going to the Couch People Christmas party, I'm like, I've got all this wax I'm going to open. And guess what I hated opening the most? The fucking basketball. I don't like basketball cards. I tried. Didn't work. Just don't like basketball. So that's what I would recommend, because there's a chance that you buy something with the anticipation of it rising in price. It doesn't. And then you get to a point where it's like, this is probably worth more ripping it. There could be a moment in time that happens. And if you don't like what you're about to rip, why rip it? It's like, that's my own thought process when if I do buy anything sealed with those expectations. Stuke says the old man in the Buick was probably 40. Let's see. I'm trying to think. 1989. Let's see. He might have been 50. Might have been 50. Max wants to know price point for Red Bridge. Football contenders, national treasures. Basketball, national treasures, prison. Those are expensive boxes. Up to $1,000 is his price point. Paul Carl Cards, Buick makes every story joke funnier. You don't see Buicks on the road anymore, which is insane because they could last 1,000,000 miles. I had a friend in high school, and they had it was like the family Buick. There were how many siblings? 4? Chris, Trent, Jeremy, and I think there was another one, but 3 were hand me down. The Buick. Chris gets the Buick. Trent gets the Buick. Now Jeremy gets the Buick. By the time Jeremy got the Buick, it had hit 12 deer. It had 450,000 miles, but it was still cruising, man. That fucking Buick. They were tanks. You never see Buicks on the road, but I bet there's flipping Buicks out there that are they're tanks. Porter says, I spent $92 in insertion fees my first month selling cards on eBay. I decided to upgrade to the basic storefront for months. There you go. I mean, a basic store is $25 and you spent $92 on insertion fees. So there you go. Let's see. Jordan says, you anti-dentite bastard. Yes, I'm anti-dentite. Red Bridge says, I really like NT. I also was looking at some UFC. I found a case of 21 Optic for a little under $2,000. I just worry about the resale value with UFC collectors. Yeah, that's something I have no idea about. Didn't mean to make him go on a new road. Sorry, we went there. Max says, if you really want to buy into UFC, it would have to be some of the earlier products, in my opinion, but I'd much rather put that into another sport. Paul says, personally, I can't wait for AI and robots to completely replace doctors and dentists. See, it's not the people. I like the people. I don't know. Doctors are weird. Doctors are weird people. You've got to be a weird person to be a doctor. I don't think any doctors are listening. I don't think any doctors are listening to some dude in his basement talk about baseball cards. Doctors are weird people. Dentists, I bet there's some dentists out there listening. I like my dentist. I don't really care for my doctor. He's a nice guy. My doctor's a nice guy. Dr. Cheng, nice guy. Kind of weird. Dr. Clark, great guy. Cubs fan, like him. I don't like I don't like dentistry. I don't like his profession. I like the people, not the profession. Red Bridge appreciates the info. I love the early tops UFC. I agree as well. The football market is crazy money compared to UFC. Shane says, you did a good job, Value Box. I love the mini tantrums. Brian says, I avoided my sleep study for a year. Just did it last night. Don't avoid things is my lesson learned. Well, son of a bitch. John said, I like this. No pain, no pay. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, at least Brian has a good head on his shoulders. Should be more of us. Value Box Digger says to Zach, I wasn't asking him what he is making this month. I had challenged him to how many cards he can sell in December versus how many we can all list in a month. Maybe you missed that. I think it was somewhat of an inside joke that Zach was making. It was not in regard to your comment. It was in regard to something else. Paul says it's almost impossible to make a mistake with the bulk shipping process. Matching the card to the invoice to the envelope makes it silky smooth. I make mistakes, and I would make more. And I did. I tried it twice. I gave it the old college try twice. Didn't help my efficiency. Value Box says, in my opinion, nothing is worth buying to hold unopened because I look at retail and say, yep, in a year this will all be on clearance for $11.98 a blaster. Low Roller needs help with Jerome Baker. Zach says, I'm not listening, only following chat now. I didn't even see your comment. I was being intrusive just to have run. Fun. Kyle says, I like the Black November sales. Various NASCAR was 75% off, almost like buying in bulk. Ooh, yeah. My NASCAR shelf is bare. I haven't had a Goodwill pallet lately. That's where most of my NASCAR comes from. There's a 1% discount on sale fees with the store as well. There you go. Steve, what's up? Label. Yes. Yep. I need a label for Mr. Steele. Value Box Digger says, Wisconsin folk are weird if you don't see Buicks on the roads. We see them. They just look way nicer now than, oh, that's a good point. Like I'm thinking of the big old boxy Buicks from the 80s. I don't see those anymore. Although I bet there's some 80s boxy Buicks on the road. Shane says there's a ton of Buicks. You don't realize how many of a car is out there until you get one. That's very true. That is very true. I remember when I was, right after I graduated high school, I was driving around. I was cruising around in a Pontiac, 1989 Pontiac Sunbird. It was a beater. And then when I was going to college, I was going to be cruising in a Dodge Avenger. It was freaking awesome. It's black. I pissed away. I worked full time, like in high school, at the grocery store, and I had one of my friends. I played high school football like my freshman year. Fuck that, it sucked. I love following my high school football team. I just didn't like playing it. My friend's dad said, what did he say? How did he say it? And he was one of those like, manly man. You got to play football, get your hands dirty. He's one of those guys. And he said, and there's probably some truth into this, but I'm going to tell you what. He's like, because I didn't play football. I think it was going into my senior year. And this is tangent evolution today, all kinds of stories. So we're going into my senior year, and he's like, how come you're not going out for football? And I said, I want to work. I want to make money so I can piss it away on stereos and stupid shit. And I worked at the grocery store. He goes, you're going to be working for the rest of your life, which is true. But I'm going to tell you what. Now, I do know that playing high school athletics, being on team sports, you learn a lot. You learn more than just the game of football, basketball, whatever your sport you're playing. But I was a very shy introvert, like, as a kid. Working at the grocery store really helped me adapt to talking to people. Like I didn't like to talk. My neighbor, who ends up a good friend now, still lives in the same house. I would walk to the grocery store like as a kid, like on my red bike that we crashed into the Buick, walk up to the grocery store, and he would say hey Bo. And I would like look down. I wouldn't even, which I guess nothing's changed. I still don't like talking to my neighbors. Nothing's changed, I guess, in that regard. But I would don't talk to me, which is the same when I'm walking Biscuit. Oh, neighbor, don't talk to me. Where the hell was I going with? Oh, the cars. So I got a Dodge Avenger. So yeah. So working at the grocery store helped me. Probably because I was a dumb kid. Like if you're a smart kid, I'm sure playing high school football will help you in life. You learn life lessons. Absolutely. I don't disagree with that. But I think for me, I learned more about myself and learning future life lessons working a job at the grocery store instead of playing high school football and going 2-7. So, anyway, so saved up my money, bought this Dodge Avenger for college. Oh, it was so fucking cool. Never saw a Dodge Avenger on the road. Never. And then I got one. And now it's like, Jesus Christ, there's like 500 in Anawan. Where did all these Dodge Avengers come from? Shane is absolutely correct. You don't realize how many of a car there is until you get one and you start driving like, oh shit, there's like 5,000 of these. Shane says, I can't wait for a robot to malfunction working on my teeth. And next thing you know, it starts moving erratic in multiple directions with a drill in its hand or claw. Hey, have you ever seen the movie, not the TV show, but the movie Westworld? That's what happens when we let AI take over. Yul Brynner in a cowboy hat's going to come murder us all. So think about that when you want a fucking robot in your goddamn mouth. Come on, Paul. We don't want AI robots in our mouth fixing our teeth. I don't even want humans in there. Max says that's why you don't buy retail to hold on to. That's a good point. Value Box says, where are the Goodwill pallets? I think I'm going to reach out to my guy and be like, hey, man, where are the Goodwill pallets? Orlando's in the house. Late to the You haven't missed much. You missed me talk about my dumbass 7-year-old self running into a Buick. My hate for dentistry. I'm anti-dentite. And I didn't play high school football. Porter says, I took the leap and ordered my 8170. It's supposed to arrive this weekend. Time to scale up. Love it. Max says there are tons of Buicks up here. All Madison is hippies and Subaru. We have Madison is the Prius and Subaru capital of the world. If there's a jam up of cars, if you're on the Beltline and there's like 500 cars backed up, it's not for an accident. There's a Prius leading the way. Sometimes Subarus are a little better on the roads than Prius, but it's like, oh, there's a fucking Prius again. Some of my best purchases in cards in the last 5 years are sealed wax. Ooh. Low Roller just sold an A-Rod card. 70 cents on ComC. I turned 10 cents to 70 cents. I make $60 profit today. Okay. Okay. Good morning, Hall of Fame card collector. I just woke up. What did I miss? I'm anti-dentite. I crashed into a Buick as a 7-year-old, and I didn't play high school football. Joe's in the house. Is the FI 7030 the best bang for your buck for scanning cards? This is a good question. 8170 or 7030. I think probably middle of the road. Probably the best bang for your buck is the 7160 refurbished. Because it's faster. So basically the last 2 digits is how many cards it can scan in a minute. So the 7030 can scan 30 cards a minute. The 7160 can scan 60 cards a minute. The 8170 can scan 70 cards per minute. The first number is just the generation. So the 7160 and the 7030 are last generation. 8170 is the current generation. It's the newest. There's not a 900 level yet. So I think the best bang for your buck, find a refurbished 7160, probably in the $300 range is going to be your best bet. I would say be very careful, anything under 200. And I would say anything over 350, wait for a better deal. I think that 300 to 350 is the sweet spot for the 7160. I used the 7030 for a year. Now a friend of the show uses it, and to my knowledge, still does use it. It's a great scanner. It's a great machine. So it's absolutely the way to go. 7030 for entry level, 7030, 7160, if you can find those refurbished. used, probably your best bang. Madison is Portland Light. I agree with that. Dan wants to know, do you mean yuppies? Nope. Actual hippies. Actual hippies in Madison. Paul says Epson DS 510 has been amazing for me. Bought used 2 to 3 years ago for $50. I cannot speak to Epson or any other scanner, only to Ricoh and Fujitsu because I haven't used anything else. Wax from past 5 years. Yes, there's stuff that's worth it today. What is available not inflated already? Not worth it in my opinion. Retail or hobby. I mean, Donruss football is $250 a hobby box. Everything too high. Max says, whatever the title is nowadays for people 30 to 60 that lean way left, drive a green vehicle, think everyone is out to get them, take no responsibility, and don't care about much. I would say Madison is more hippie than yuppie. Yuppie, I consider yuppie. Yuppie and hippie are way different. Like my vision of a yuppie is like a young, what is it? I think it even stands for something like a young professional. Like a young professional in like Naperville. Like Naperville, shout out Naperville. Naperville, yuppie capital of the world, probably. Hippies, East Side, Madison. That's where the hippies are. Let's see. Some of the younger crowd, maybe hipsters, though. Yeah, and then hipster. I think in hipsters is a little hipsters and hippies. I kind of relate as the same. Yuppie, I think, completely different. Wrigley, yeah, Wrigleyville. Wrigleyville is full of yuppies. Completely different than Madison. Madison are hippies. Yeah, yuppie is more of a white collar. Yeah, suit and tie, Mercedes. Yeah, that's a yuppie. Land Rover. That's a yuppie. Hippies are driving a Prius or a Subaru. Crunchy granola. Down on Willie Street. So when is the right time to sell? I get this asked many times. Jump into the Facebook group, Hobby Evolution on Facebook. We have some great conversations, great questions are asked just like this. Somebody had asked yesterday, I think it was Acuna. They had bought a bunch of Acuna cards. When's the right time to sell? I made a comment on that because if you bought 75 of them, you have the power. You've got some leverage there because you bought volume. Now, I don't know what the buy-in price was for this person, and I don't know what the current market price is for these cards. If they got them at a great price where they can make profit right now, then absolutely start selling because you got 75. You're not going to sell all 75 of them unless you give a discount to pretty much what you bought them for, right? So you can start selling a bunch now and start taking some of those profits. Now, this is kind of the worst time to sell stuff like this. December, not a good time to sell. But if you have that money down and you already, I mean, my philosophy is quick flip. Like I'm selling cards at 99 cents where I could put them in my eBay store. Jackson Churio, 99 cents yesterday. Could have put that in my store for $2.50 and probably sold it. But I knew it would be a quick flip and I probably have 30 of them or more. And getting a new customer, I figured out 15 cents. What are you paying for advertising? What are you paying for promotions? If it's 10% at $1.50, you're paying 15 cents right there. I paid 15 cents for a new, what's your customer acquisition cost? 15 cents for a customer, paying 15 cents for a customer is like nothing. So that's part of the 99-cent strategy, customer acquisition. So sell some of those now, quick flip, as long as you can make money. I mean, and still sometimes to liquidate, like if you want to move some of them just to get some of that money back and have that money work for you so you can, 75 Ronald Acuna cards sitting on a shelf, unlisted, are not going to make you any money. You don't want to lose money unless that's your strategy, like the 99-cent strategy is my strategy. But for something like this is you're trying to maximize your profit. As we get closer to spring training, that price is probably going to go up on somebody like Acuna. Fortunately, in the next couple months, we don't have to worry about, injuries. Well, we do, but not as much as if he's actually playing the game. But I wouldn't hold all 75 of them, because what happens if you wait until February or March and all of a sudden he goes down with an injury at spring training and you're left holding the bag? And now you're sitting on, dead money. So that's my thought process. When is the right time to sell? It's usually yesterday. I think a lot of people made mistakes over the past 3 years in this hobby because they are following. Don't be a follower. Don't be a follower. Don't blindly listen to what anybody tells you, myself included. Don't just say, well, it works for Bo, it's going to work for me. Don't do that. Because everybody is different. You got to know what works for you. And I think a lot of people followed the herd in 2020 and 2021 into 2022. And what were they doing? Everything kept going up. Everything was parabolic in cards. Everything kept going up. Well, if I buy now, this has gone up 100% in the last 60 days. I'm going to make another 100% in another 60 days. That may have happened for a month or two or a year, but it eventually stopped going up. And then some people that were buying got left holding the bag. A lot of those guys you don't see anymore. What was I doing? I was selling. One of the biggest things that annoys me, true collector, that term annoys me. The other term the other thing that annoys me in the hobby is, I've been collecting for 30 years. I know what I'm talking about. I've been collecting for 50 years. But it's like, so? I've been breathing for 41 years. I'm no expert on life. Just because you've been in it longer than others doesn't mean you're an expert or smarter than the next person. There's a lot of smart dudes that just did enter the hobby in 2021, 2022, and they know what the F they're doing, right? But those that have been in it for 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, they know the ups and downs of the hobby. If you weren't around pre-COVID and your lifespan in this hobby is only 3 years old, you don't know what it was like in 2010 or 1996. You don't know the ups of 1989, 90, 91 and the downs of 94, 95, 96. And then the doldrums of 2008 to 2012. So we knew, those of us that had lived through those times, we knew in 2020 and 2021 when our junk was selling at a rapid rate, oh my God, I can't list fast enough. Sell, sell, sell. Did I buy some stuff at stupid prices? Absolutely. There's a couple in that case behind me. There's a bicycle in the garage that I haven't used in a year. Hey, that was a good purchase. I did get good use out of my e-bike. Thank you to baseball card sales. And hopefully I'll get more good use out of it next year. So when is the right time to sell? There is no correct answer. There is, but we just don't know that correct answer until it's too late. Oh, should have sold that yesterday. Should have waited. Blah, 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 blah. So we never know. We just have to be smart about it and time the market and just use history as an example. Sometimes history doesn't repeat itself, though. So you got to be careful. Andy Mack says Naperville is Aurora's neighbor. Naperville sucks. A-town. There you go. Max says the right time to sell is right after you buy. Always make your money and move on. Time value of money. There it is. Max says it more eloquently than I have. That is the right time to sell, right after you buy. That's why, Al Rose and Mr. Mint said it back in the 80s, and I'm sure somebody said it before him in some other industry. You make your money on the buy side, but everybody gets caught up on the sell side. You make your money on the buy. Why can I sell 99-cent cards and lose 15 cents? Because I don't have any, I have half a penny or a penny into those cards that I'm listing. They're dead inventory. I can get customers. Now, do I want to have a bunch of 99-cent sales. No, I want what Donald Davis comes in and buys 7 or more. That's the goal, right? Is the volume. And then those single sales of 99 cents, hopefully that customer comes back. Hopefully he watches my store, follows my store, comes back. Maybe the next purchase isn't 99 cents. Maybe it's $20. Maybe it's 100 cards. That's the goal. Positive feedback, transactions. There's value in all of that. Make your money on the buy side. You don't have to buy every bulk deal that comes your way. You have to be smart. You have to know what it's going to sell for. What am I going to sell this for? And it takes time. You can't just do this overnight. I've been selling on eBay for 25 years. I've been selling in volume for 5. I had an eBay store back 15 years ago. After doing it, what's the old 10,000 hour rule? Once you do it, you just know. Like, you can't teach it. Because there's so much variety. You go to a card show, your card show is not going to be the same. There's not going to be the same dealers. There's not going to be the same inventory. Those dealers may not want to sell in bulk. They may have a high price. Your store may not get the traffic that my store does, and vice versa. So there's a whole lot of, just keep grinding. I mean, that's the thing. You just got to keep grinding. And then the more you grind, and stick with it. Don't just bow out. A lot of people bow out. I've seen so many people stop doing volume selling because it's not easy. It's not easy anymore, which I was hoping that would happen. Less competition. But Max says it right here. Right time to sell, right after you buy. And if you're making wise purchases and you know what they can sell for, and you know how fast you can sell them. I turned down so many because it's like, I have this inventory. It's not really moving. I'm not going to buy it. But if I can get a few cases of 2022 Bowman draft paper, okay, I know the Jackson Holidays are going to sell for this much and they're going to sell fast. So I can make up, if I can get this for X amount, I know I'm going to sell Jackson Holiday for Y amount. So I'm going to profit just on that. And everything else is gravy. Like the 12 cases of Bowman paper. I sold those Jackson Holidays freaking like fire. They went like fire. And the rest is just bonus for me. I haven't even listed it. Like, I still have half of the first Bowmans from that year still unlisted. So, and that's kind of like, that's advantage. Like, would I want to flip them? Sure, absolutely. But it's also kind of nice to have in my back pocket. Like, I've already made profit on that purchase. Now I've got this extra stuff that, hey, if this guy comes out of nowhere and his stuff selling for $5 a pop now, boom, I've got 200 of them. Easy money. Jordan says, I can tell you when it's not. I listed a Trevor. Max says, but on the Acuna example, I wouldn't mess around with most baseball until February. I couldn't find a Hobby Evolution group page on Facebook. Just type in Hobby Evolution. Hobby Evolution should pop up for you. Type in Hobby Evolution in Facebook, and it's got Neanderthals on the cover. There you go. I wonder if I can access my Facebook, because I think I had to change. Oh yeah, I had to change everything. Let's see. Is it going to let me log in? Nope. Okay, so I still haven't updated Facebook. So type in Facebook, type in Hobby Evolution on Facebook. Value Box Digger says, selling, in my opinion, is like, let's get back to break even, and then the rest is okay. Sells whenever. I do believe that was your original mindset as well. Break even on collections on eBay and keep all the Cubs. For the most part, yeah. I mean, now it's a little different now. That was my original. Yeah, that was my original mindset. Yes. Get to break even as fast as I can. Keep the Cubs, and then the rest is just gravy. Which really, that strategy was huge going into the pandemic, because I had bought so many collections. I had sold the good stuff off the top, and then what was left over freaking was everything was flying in 2020 and 2021. So I had so much inventory. I was able to build a nice nest egg to start my own business. Value Box Digger says everyone is having 50% off sales and listing lots. Say that, don't be a follower. It doesn't work for everyone. Does not work for everyone. Kyle says a lot of people do something wrong for 35 to 40 years and then criticize someone who passes them by after a couple years experience. Sometimes that is true. What metrics should I be looking at to figure out what level of eBay store I need? The most important ones are how many listings you currently have, and then look at the subscription cost per month, how many listings you get. Collector's Dream says this hobby has had many ups and downs, steadily growing over the years. Absolutely. Thoughts on printing invoices, every card sale? I do not. I do not print invoices. Let's see. Max says, but I don't do that, LOL, so don't listen to me. Steve says, too much work, time, and extra cost for printing invoices. I agree with that. Cooter's in the house. It's impossible to time a market perfectly. Amen. 100%. Max is 100% correct. Take a profit and redeploy the capital to grow your business or collection. Amen. Downtimes are the best time to buy. Exactly. What's a majority of what you see right now in resellers, in trading cards? What are they trying to do? What's everyone trying to do? Sell. What should you be doing if you're a smart business person within trading cards? What Orlando says right here. This is a downtime. I'm checking Facebook Marketplace multiple times a day. I see a lot of junk wax next to a bunch of retail from 2021. It's like, oh my God. It's like the junk wax. I hate, another term I hate is junk wax era 2.0, but it pretty much is. 2020 through 2022 is just more junk wax, and it's all retail. Panini Chronicles. Oh my God. So many people are trying to sell. Desperate times call for great buying opportunities. Max says it's just up to how many listings you have. Bo can speak more to this, but it's usually just number of listings and turnover. Absolutely. Philly Joe, thanks, Steve. Brian says, thanks to Max. It looks like I might need to open a proper store, but I'm not sure based on the numbers. I don't know how many listings you have, but just if you're up to the cap, here's the thing. It's pretty simple. If you're at 250 on not a store and you want to list more, how many more listings do you want to list? And then look at how much you're going to pay. Say you want to list 100 listings and it's going to cost you $25 in insertion fees, but it's also going to cost you $25 for a store subscription. You get benefits and you get a final value reduction. So actually there's more math to do, but keeping things simple, $25 for insertion fees without having a store, $25 for a store with benefits, get a store. But I don't know what your numbers are. Only you know the numbers and what your potential numbers are going to be. Card inventory isn't earning unless it's turning. Sell, 100%. Absolutely. Just need to know break-even price on paying for extra listings versus bigger store. Bitcoin just hit 42,000. Let it be known the first time I've ever agreed with VBD. That's how my mind works. Have a great day, says the Value Box Digger. Brian's at 780 listings. Oh, and you don't have a store? Oh, shit, dude. You're paying a lot of money. If you don't have a store, you're probably paying, let's see, minus 250. You're paying like $100 a month in insertion fees. If you don't have a store and you have 780 listings, get an eBay store. Like, stop what you're doing right now and subscribe to an eBay store. Bill says, made some bad buying decisions. I'm sitting on a lot of retail 2021 tops. Oh, God. I mean, just 2021 tops in general is not good unless it's a hit. At least, I mean, inserts you can get 25 cents for in a quarter box. Going to have a fun Christmas. Oh, they're sealed. Oh, man. Because it's not worth it to sell them sealed. No, it's not. It's not even worth it to sell hobby boxes of 2021 tops. You just fell into the trap of I bought a bunch of retail in 2021 also. I fell into it. I mean, sometimes it was just hard to avoid. Let's see. People were buying Bitcoin for 2 years in a bear market. Now it pays off since Bitcoin is going up like crazy. There you go. Culper78. Seems like 98% of Facebook Marketplace collections are way overpriced. Folks that think all Jordans are worth $20 plus. Yeah, you have to filter through a lot of junk. I mean, there's countless Facebook Marketplace. Like the example I gave yesterday, person wanted $30,000 for garbage. And it looked like literal garbage. Facebook Marketplace. There's been some like, see, sometimes you get shit like this. Box of cards, $30. Here's something, $35. Massive sports card lot. Oh, that's my buddy Eric. Let's see what else. He's a dealer. He actually sets up next to me at the Madison Card Show. Here's junk wax. There's still junk wax. $225 for a. Oh, he's got a can of Spotted Cow. Hey, my type of guy. Yeah. 89 Upper Deck, 90 Donruss, 91 Fleer. Let's see. Sometimes there's some good stuff. There were a couple collections, bulk lots that were on Facebook Marketplace about a week ago. And I'm like, oh, this looks good. And I'm like, eh. And like an hour later, they were both sold. I'm like, okay. They were probably good. I hope I don't know who bought them because I'll be kicking myself like, shit, I should have pounced. Chad, what's going on? Thanks for the info on Cubs convention. You betcha. Hope to see you there. Cubs convention next month. Looking forward to it. LRS, change your name to Bitcoin Shill. There you go. So that's what I had for today. When is the right time to sell? Yesterday. Today. Right now. So hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. Hit up my eBay store. You'll find some good deals. I sprinkled in. I just grabbed some piles of bulk. Somebody got a Jackson Churio for 99 cents yesterday. Somebody took advantage of the 25% sale and bought 7 cards. A couple people did. Donald said in the chat he did. And then Corbin Carroll, Gunnar Henderson, like Heritage Miners, 99 cents free shipping. You'll save even more if you buy 7 or more. You'll get that 25% off. You'll get them for 75 cents. So hit up my eBay store, 99centcards.com. Low Roller Scratcher. There you go. I finally added some more 99-cent cards to my store. So it's not false advertising. Although I've always had 99-cent cards in my store. People just don't buy them. Link also in the description. Let's see. Today's Tuesday. Tomorrow is Wednesday. My uncle passed away, so I have to go. I will be live tomorrow, but then I have to go to, we're just doing like a graveside service back down in Geneseo. Geneseo, shout out. Maple Leafs. So I'll be down there, so I got to leave after the show tomorrow. Head down there for half the day. Let's see. There will be no Hobby Evolution on Saturday or Sunday. I will be at the Janesville Card Show this Saturday. I'll have dime boxes in Janesville. I'll be selling bulk. So if you want some bulk and you're in Janesville, come see me. Saturday night's the Club 400 Christmas party. So I'll be there. John Maley, Mike Talkman, and Brian McRae going to be at the Club 400 Christmas party Saturday night. So no Hobby Evolution on Sunday. So Monday, I'll recap the weekend. We'll do a show review, a Club 400 review next Monday. So wish me luck tonight. It's my wife's favorite things party. Hopefully my buddy can go out, have some beers so I can get out of the house. I did leave the house yesterday, by the way. I took Biscuit for a walk. I broke the 40-degree rule. It's 37 degrees. We went for a short walk, and I went to the post office. So baby steps. So have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.